Oh, guys, I forgot. Spoilers.
Oh, okay. But then I'll start.
Put that in the beginning, yeah. Cool. Hello, we're ready to rock. My name is Jake, and welcome to the TWOFOLD Podcast. With me is Phil and Tim. Introduce yourselves.
What? Hey,
Say
what's
hello.
up? Tim.
I have tea, and I'm Phil. I have
back.
tea. Welcome.
Beautiful.
It's another episode. Man, these 2 weeks really just sped by.
Just crazy times. I mean,
It's Corona time.
what can you say?
We're locked in.
It's officially Corona times, and officially... Do we need to pause?
No, why?
Dude,
Okay.
you are
Anyway.
very choppy. You are choppy, Jacob.
I'm a choppy man,
Is,
right?
is he choppy for you too?
Nope,
Philip?
not as choppy.
I'm going to disconnect and connect to the call. You guys keep talking. This is behind the scenes for you listeners out there.
behind the
You guys
scenes.
keep talking.
Okay.
I wanted to say that we can now officially say, before we were like coronavirus, this and that, but now it's real. And we can say that it's Corona times.
I think it was real back then as well.
No, I know, but it wasn't as real from our perspective. But now it is.
Oh, I guess
And
maybe your countries were... Because I was on lockdown last time as well.
See, we were not.
I was already Mr. Locked.
So
Nope.
Yes.
now we're all Mr. Locked.
Behind lock and
And-
key.
Just a PSA at this time is, stay safe, stay inside, the classics. And I just, wish everyone
Wash your hands.
well-being.
Don't touch your face.
And I wish everyone, to stay as safe as they can. I feel an obligation to just say that up front. Anyway,
Good.
You're here to listen to the
Good
TWOFOLD
PSA.
podcast. And Phil and Tim are here. I'm here as well. And we're going to talk
And
about...
the intro's here too. Hey!
Beautiful. And Johnny...
Nice. Never fails.
Never fails. He's a beautiful man.
Johnny's playing it even though he has coronavirus.
Yeah, that's sad.
Poor
But
Johnny.
It's okay.
Poor
because
Johnny.
But he's in quarantine.
Poor
He's behind the glass.
Exactly. Behind the looking
Okay.
glass.
He washes his hand. He's a responsible man.
Speaking of which, I watched
good.
Peter
That's
Pan
great.
today. I don't know why.
You watch what?
Peter Pan, the 2003 film with Jason Isaacs.
Oh, that one. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Me and you, Phil, watched it a while ago.
Yep.
I have no idea that such a thing
Yeah, it's like
exists.
this
That's okay.
actor kid who I think wasn't in anything else afterwards.
He looks like a young Vin Diesel. Like a kid Vin Diesel.
Young Vin Diesel. I think my nieces watched that. Like they liked that when they were
Yeah,
kids.
2003.
Maybe.
It came out in
So,
2003. And I think
I'm
that was an
gonna-
era when fantasy movies were getting up and big again, And
Lord of the Rings.
yeah. And this
Harry
is when
Potter.
everyone wanted to make these book adaptations, but they wanted to make them pure, try to make them pure in the way that they
Pure
could
blood.
in the early 2000s. And so that's one of those movies.
One
It's like
blood.
Peter Pan. It's the Peter Pan story, but with modern special effects, which don't look very good
With a
now.
lot of pans, a lot of peanut butter, these kinds of things.
Cheese crackers.
So I'll ask you guys how you're doing, but first I just want to, reel the listener in and say we're talking about Onward, which is the new Pixar movie that came out.
Pixar.
And I haven't heard of Pixar. I haven't heard from them in years. I haven't been up to date at all.
They never replied to your
I
messages.
know.
I haven't
Like,
been even
Pixar, what
checking
you
out
doing?
their messages, their movies. I just out of the loop entirely.
I know. The last movie we saw was The Last Dinosaur. No, The Good Dinosaur.
The last dinosaur. That's
Denver,
true though, right?
the
Wasn't it?
last dinosaur. Do you know that show?
No, I don't.
Dude, that's my favorite show when I was a kid. It was like an 80s show, but we got it late in Serbia. It's Denver, the last dinosaur. He's awesome. He's like
Last
he's like
Dinosaur.
a dinosaur, hangs out with like these 80s kids and they solve crimes. It's amazing.
That sounds
Wow,
cool,
they solve
actually. I've
crimes.
never
Of
heard
course they would.
Denver. It's got
And-
No,
awesome.
we watched
I-
Incredibles
I-
2. I forgot about that.
that.
Yeah, what did you want to say, Jake?
What? I didn't watch Incredibles
You watch
2.
what?
Yeah, you did. We both watched it, Jacob. We watched it together.
We watched
didn't
it together? What?
we? Yeah, you don't remember?
Tell me.
Or maybe it was just me, but I think we did watch it together.
What? I remember.
2018.
Incredibles 2. Well, give me the lowest.
Yes.
Incredibles 2.
What are the highlights?
Da-da-da-da-da. Mrs. Incredible is hired to be a superhero again. Remember, from these brother and sister who are making like a company or some kind of establishment to reinvigorate heroes into society again.
Okay, it's ringing a bell now. Something's coming back.
And then the villain is someone who is like the monitor. I think their name is.
Oh, I remember now, Phil. I remember.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what's funny? I watched the movie and none of this is ringing a bell. I have no.
Well, see, that's why I was having trouble. Yeah, I remember now.
And they have a new house. Yeah.
At the end of the finale, right? She has to wear goggles and stuff and sneak around. And
she's like working and he's like at home. Okay, I remember that. And
Yeah,
Jackson
and
is
then
like
the switcheroo
crazy.
where you think it's this hacker, but it turns out to be some person from the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well,
we
that
did
was-
watch that one. Yeah.
That was 2018. But there was a. Did you watch the
Coco?
Finding Dory?
Oh yeah, Finding Dory.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, Jacob. We watched Finding Dory.
And Jacob is erased.
No. You can see there's a
What
theme
about
here.
Coco?
I didn't see Coco.
I loved Coco. Paula told
Didn't
me
see
about
it.
Coco,
Okay.
and she was
What
like, "You
about-
have to watch it," and then we watched it, and it was really good.
Watch the Coco. I'm in
like
love
Coco.
with the Coco. What about Toy Story 4?
Nope, haven't seen Toy Story 4.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. As a fourth, installment in a sequel, it's not that bad. It's different. It's like I would say it's like you have the main trilogy, and this is like I hate to say new trilogy, but it's the story is going different. Like that had an arc. Now this is somewhere else. Same characters, but it's not like it doesn't kill the
I
third movie.
wanted
Whatever.
to see it, but then I just, for some reason, nothing was like attracting me to like, oh, I really want to go. watch
Same.
this. It was just
Same.
like, yeah, Toy Story.
Yeah.
So, but
What's
you
your
said
favorite
it's pretty
Pixar
good,
movie,
right?
by the way?
My favorite Pixar movie is most likely The Incredibles, and if it's not The Incredibles, it's Monsters Incorporated.
Dude, same
Nice.
same thing. Yeah, I think I would agree. I think Incredibles was for me at the time a really, really adventurous, amazing film. Monsters Inc. I feel like is a really, really well rounded. It has the emotional aspect. It's very strong, but it's not like it's not very heavy handed. It's just like part of the story. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know that Tim, yours is famously Wall-E.
Wall-E.
Yeah. That's the best. That's like they've never reached such heights with
Really?
Wall-E. They were
The
so
highest heights.
because they were so ambitious with it. Like they never went that ambitious with like as far as what a CG 3D movie for kids can be. Like everything else is kind of toned down as a kids movie. It doesn't, like Wall-E. Like the first half of it is just you like it's very it's a big movie. Anyway,
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
I just
What do
wanted
you
to
guys
say
think of
that-
Wall-E?
Well,
I like
continue
Wall-E.
about Wall-E, but I just wanted to, since we made the listener wait 8 minutes, I just wanted to just tell them the little plot of
Let's try.
Onward, and then we
Okay,
can go
yeah,
on.
the new one,
Just
Onward.
since, I don't want it to be later. So Onward.
Oh yeah, the newest. Yeah, sorry. Before you do that, I just want to say we're watching as Corona is around everywhere and cinemas have been closed. And poor Pixar, they released Onward in the cinemas and had to put it on streaming immediately after 2 weeks since all cinemas are closed. And that's why we're
So
watching
sad.
Onward as everyone
Exactly.
else is
Yeah.
because it's available
That's
to buy
correct.
at home.
And in brief, let's see if I can recap Onward. Okay, here we go. So Onward is a movie that has fantastical elements in it. There are elves
Okay, good start.
and ogres/orcs.
No, wait, you're talking about the wrong movie. My bad.
Yeah, you're right. I am. I'm mixing things up. Let's go back. So
Oh,
it
no.
has many magical creatures in it. That's Onward. Many magical creatures. And the premise is that the world used to have magic, and then they discovered technology. And then essentially this world turned into kind of like our modern world. Pretty much, just with magical creatures instead of humans.
Yeah.
Like that Will Smith movie.
Oh yeah, the Netflix one.
What was it called? Blight? Bright?
Yeah, that was Bright. That wasn't. That was
Never saw
cheesy.
it.
But we're in this future, but there might still be magic in the world. And we
Yeah.
follow a family, particularly a 16-year-old person who
Elf.
misses his dad because his father died many years ago from some kind of an illness.
How
And they
appropriate.
discover that his father
appropriate,
leaves
sure.
him and his brother a wizard staff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this
Gandalf staff.
wizard staff can do magic, but you must have magic within you to wield the staff.
Okay, come on. Let's get to the plot.
Yeah, I'm getting to the plot. And the plot is that their
That's the
dad
setting.
said, look, he wrote them a note and said, "There's a spell you can do to bring me back for one whole day because I want to see how my boys grew up." And they're so excited. They're like, "Huh?"
No. Sorry, I was just adding to like because I'm dying. I want to see them when when they're grown up.
And the boys are so excited, and the main character starts the incantation. It's going well, but the magic is so powerful. It's too powerful. He can't handle it. And it's bringing his dad back from, the feet up to the head, but it stops at his waist and he's just legs. So he brought his dad's legs back. And then the whole plot of the movie, which I thought would happen, is that they have to figure out how to get their whole dad to spend the day with him. And they have a time limit. That's correct. They have 24 hours to meet him.
Yeah, and I think you have there's one important part of the movie that his older brother he believes in magic, and he's kind of like not a troublemaker, but he's really annoying in town because of
he's like a rebel.
Yeah, because of his stern beliefs in the historical old fantasy ways.
Yeah, because everyone is forgotten about magic.
Yeah, and so he's kind of thought of as being obnoxious, and his younger brother, the main character, is kind of annoyed by him because of how much he's enthusiastic about that sort of stuff. And
and so that takes him on wily adventures to find this rune stone that will... Because that was the key, you see. It wasn't just the staff. It was the staff with a magic gem that was very rare.
Phoenix gem?
That's right.
Phoenix
I believe
gem,
so.
The Phoenix gem.
Unfortunately, it got destroyed because the incantation was not finished, and so they have to look for a new one in order to finish the spell and bring their dad
brand
back.
new spanking Phoenix.
Yeah.
So tell me more about Wally. What do you want to ask about?
That's great. No. Just Wally's great. I just wanted to ask what you guys thought of Wally.
I think
it's good. I mean, I know that it resonated to you more than it did to me, but I would watch it again. I would watch it more times.
Yeah.
I like it. Especially the first half.
Pete's Doctor as well. That one.
At the time, I remember that I felt...
Wally is... wasn't Wally... the guy who directed Finding Nemo.
Oh. Pete's Doctor... No, wait.
No.
Andrew Stanton. Okay,
Andrew Stanton.
Andrew, yeah.
I remember distinctly
Pete
that
just helped.
The first
Pete Doctor did
movie
monsters.
Was very artistic and very atmospheric. And then the second half is almost a different movie in a sense. But I would like to see the movie again to see how that works. Because I forgot.
Yeah. I think I'll just watch all the Pixar movies again.
Well, it's Corona time, so...
Should we do that? Maybe that sounds good.
That'll be lovely.
Yeah. I would love to talk about Pixar.
I'm in. We can do each movie 10 minutes. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Any
I
second
love that,
favorite
around
film, or
time.
just Wally and then nothing?
Let me look at the list. You know what? For some reason, I really like A Bug's Life, but that's for a very special reason.
Oh man, A Bug's Life.
And the reason is because, and this is very unique. I hate when people say this. I'm annoyed, but I do have a good excuse why. My statement is okay, and other people's is not. I love the Slovak dubbed version.
Oh, okay.
Much better than the actual original.
Right.
And here's why. Mm-hmm. Yeah, continue. What did you want to say?
I just want to say our family also liked the Slovak dub of Emperor's New Groove, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Always talk about that.
And I have an excuse because the thing is, it's an animated movie, so you don't actually see the actors, so it doesn't technically matter what the voices are. It's not like you're watching Samuel Jackson go Samuel. You know what I mean? That doesn't fit. But you know what's the craziest part? I watched I watched the dubbed version for 1,000 times, and that's the one that I watched. And then I watched the original, and it didn't fit one thing because I'm used to the other thing. But they actually added jokes in the Slovak version. There's at least 20 more jokes, which is funny. I don't understand. That was workable. So I don't know. That one popped into my head. As I just want to say Pixar was you guys were saying I don't know what Pixar was up to, but I remember around time when Up came out. I think Up and Toy Story 3 came out. Yeah, Toy Story 3. Yeah. I was Pixar can't do wrong. I cannot imagine a world where Pixar puts out a movie and it's not the amazing thing.
They were on the
and then
heights.
Brave happened.
And then Brave happened. Yeah, we should bottle this up, pin it for later, because this would be fun to talk about on a special.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do a
no,
Pixar special.
We should do a Pixar special, but I
Yeah,
just wanted to say the context of my view of Pixar in my life is that I kind of looked at it sort of akin to Apple, right? So like it's a category of its own. Like there's something special in how they make the films and why they make the movies that just like you can't compare to other movies. That's how I looked at Pixar for a long time. And so very much in the same boat. Yeah, like they can't make a movie that's bad or that's not amazing.
And then
brings us now.
happened.
So I wanted to say last thing before that, like, so we've kind of a little bit kept track of some Pixar movies, not all of them. But here we are in 2020 with Onward.
Yeah.
And what can we say about the movie? How was here's a good question. How was your what was your level of investment? Let's put it that way. Watching Onward. I'd love to hear. Phil, you can start.
Well, at the beginning, I was just like, okay, let's watch this film. Okay, let's do it. I was not
podcast time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like, and I was not, just because of, I don't know, like I've just been kind of emotionally separated from Pixar for a while. You know what I mean? Like I watched Good Dinosaur, I watched Incredibles 2. I didn't even see Toy Story 4. So for me, this wasn't like something that I was excited about watching, if that makes any sense, just because I don't hear any fanfare for it. I don't know what I would say about it, because the concept isn't exactly, for me, like maybe because Pixar had such high standards in the past, like the concepts were one of the big things about their movies, I think, right?
Like they had very simple concepts, but then they just like sort of entered that world with that idea.
Yeah.
And they were clever, unique, like something you didn't see before.
So that was the thing that took me a while while I was watching the movie. But it was a gradual increase in interest. And at the end, I was like, yeah, I really liked it. I really liked it.
I will be honest with you that, I'll be brutally honest here, is that when I saw the poster of this movie, I was just like, I don't feel like watching this movie.
Same.
I was like, what is this, goblins or something in the modern world? I was like,
Oh my God.
no, just like, this is bad. Like that was my gut reaction. So anyway, Tim, what was your level of investment?
I didn't even know about this movie until I read
clue, by the way. When you guys told me, you texted us and you're like, oh, they're streaming the new Pixar. We're like, new Pixar movie. What?
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed it. I think I've seen headlines because it's starring Spider-Man and Star-Lord from Marvel, and I think that's the only thing I knew about it.
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Yeah, you know what? That's so funny that you mentioned that, because I was trying to figure out whose voice that was the entire movie, and I thought I got it, and I thought it was what's his name, Dude Man Rob from Cloverfield.
Dude Man Rob. Oh, TJ. I know who you mean. TJ.
Yeah,
Miller.
TJ. I thought it was TJ Miller. I was like TJ Miller, right? That's the voice. That's the voice. And then I watched the credits, and it's Chris
funny
Pratt?
Because I think I wasn't even like paying attention to who the voice actors might be, because I was so much. I was trying to figure out what my level of investment was in this movie, and if it would actually. I'm so sorry.
What was that?
What was that?
What was that?
That was a burp. If my level of, if it would win me over in its premise and story and stuff like that. So I was mostly thinking about that, because when you watch a movie, sometimes you're so like not interested or not invested.
I know
that you have to somehow allow the movie to sell itself to you, right? And not in a cynical way, just in like a shift in mode. It's the same thing like reading a book, right? Like when you read a page, you could either give up really quickly, or you can read for another 5 minutes and then you're in the swing, and then it turns to 10 and 15 and 20 and 25, right?
Yeah.
So
I do that a lot with shows. Like I'll give it one episode, kind of thing. Like I'll give it one episode. If it catches me, I'll go on. If not, no harm down.
But maybe
half an hour gone.
Well, that's me and Peaky Blinders, Tim. Have you watched Peaky
Blinders? Also one episode, I think, from me, or maybe two.
Yeah, I was just like, I was just like, Peaky Blinders. Okay, I was recommended by a friend of the show who still hasn't shown up yet, Luke. He said, watch Peaky Blinders. And I watched the first episode and I thought it was pretty good. And I stopped at the first episode.
I think I did 2 seasons. I did 2 seasons of Peaky Blinders. And then I kind of just forgot about it. Didn't return.
So anyways, go on with your other experiences.
So I didn't know about it except that there's like a movie and these two are in it. I didn't see trailers until the headline. That they're releasing it because of Corona and everything. So I was like, we can watch a Pixar movie. Like, because there was honestly we were looking and there was nothing really being released that's good at the moment, and on Netflix or any of the streaming stuff. So this was like a bright star, something to hold on to, magic. So this movie, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't even see the trailer, so
me neither.
So I watched it, and I have to say, like, this movie was really interesting to me. Is that this movie is like such a split down the middle, like with from story to acting to jokes to the concept of how it looks. It's like sometimes it's so good, and sometimes it's just so dreadful. I'm just like so
dreadful,
confused.
huh?
Like sometimes you're like watching and it feels like Pixar, and sometimes you're like it feels like a really crappy DreamWorks animation movie from 2007.
That's what I thought too.
Here was my verdict.
We have similar thoughts.
Finished. I never. I thought that this was possible, and of course it is. Is that I came to the end and I kind of realized like this really felt like a DreamWorks film. I really didn't feel the Pixar
like from
soul.
The star actors, you got that. Then there's like the whole cookie world, like, oh, it's a telephone, but it's with magic, and it's this shit is under, like this is not doesn't belong to Pixar. They're much more clever than these jokes.
It felt just kind of like a little sad, but it's hard to pin because at the same time I don't want to be like the cynical old man who's like, back in the day Pixar was amazing, they were so good, and look at them how far they've fallen. I'm not saying that, but at the same time that I also can't deny my experiences, and I have to compare their body of work to their newest film. And I'm not even expecting them to produce like a masterpiece. I really am not, like with a new film. But it comes back to that question of like, when you're making a new movie, is the grain of the idea powerful enough to invest in that and to make a whole movie about that, right? That's the question.
That seems to be like to me, that seems like the Pixar way, right?
That's the formula, sort of. That's how they go. Yeah. What is this really strong idea? Either an emotional element, or either just like you said, Tim, like a clever concept, and then they can go on and make an emotional connection with their audience through that, or something like through the story, through the characters. But I really think that to me, it feels like the case of if it's not powerful enough just on paper, conceptually, then the movie, as good as it is, like this from a production standpoint, is a great film, right? Like it's very well made and very well done, you can tell. But I feel like the concept isn't powerful enough to warrant, a great movie.
It's interesting to similar to the vein of what I was saying, that kind of split down the middle, my experience, but also I feel like the movie is kind of split down the middle as far as what it wants to do. It's like it doesn't have one great idea. There's like two
That's what I'm trying to say,
themes to it. There's one is the whole brother thing, which is the one part I like. The whole, them as brothers. I like the fact that it's kind of not traditional. Usually your main kind of character is a loser or something like that. He's just a regular guy. He just wants to go to school. I think that's a great approach to it. It's, he's not some geek or something like that. While his brother, is a geek, but he's cool. And, it's like, it's very non-standard. That was great.
They wrote
and
that
the
well,
whole story of, and the whole story of, him realizing, his brother was there for him. Like, that was all amazing.
Oh, man, guys, that made me tear up a little bit.
You two brothers, it's all there, And then on the other side, there's this whole plot, there's this whole, like, agenda of, like, this movie trying to go, like, it feels like a boomer made the other part. It's like, oh, this world is, like, the life is sucked out of it. Everyone's too safe. No one's taking risk. Thing, yeah. No one's taking adventure. You have to do adventures and everything. It just felt, like, so out of place. Like, compared to, like, I feel like a really old man who doesn't understand today's generation. Yeah. Like, if you're like anyone younger, you'll probably get pissed off by that whole rhetoric. Like, they should let young people direct these movies to give some life to it.
So, Dan Scanlon is the director of this one, and he directed Monsters University.
I didn't like Monsters University.
What did you think of Monsters?
But I would like to see it again, though, because I really enjoyed it when it came out. I really thought it was a great film.
Yeah, it was fun.
I wanted to say, Tim, that you know, coming back to your point of sort of the movie struggling to have a very concrete thing they're going with. I honestly felt a little disappointed that they went that route of this. They created this premise of the pants, right? Of the pants, of the legs of the dad, which I feel like it's okay. Like in the comedic sense, it's fine.
Oh, guys, I forgot. Spoilers.
Oh, okay. Put that on start.
Put that in the beginning, yeah. It's okay from a comedic standpoint, but I feel like you were saying, Tim, if the movie was going to be about these brothers and exploring their, like, you know, what they're seeing in each other and how they appreciate each other and unexpectedly realizing that, like, you could make the movie that none of that happens at the beginning with the legs, and they don't have, you know, their dad's legs walking around with them.
It's true. It's true.
The story could have been like, man, like they have to go meet their dad, or something like that, where the entire film is based around just their relationship, you know, going to this existent or non-existent ending with the dad. Maybe it would happen, maybe it wouldn't happen. That's not the point of the story. And so for me, I really struggled with understanding is like, why do we have this double agenda, like you said, with the dad on one side, which is like the biggest deal, but even that's not explained, and that's, I mean, it doesn't have like a huge relevance to the story. And the other side, you have them, you know, trying to get to that goal, and in the midst of that, realizing things. So that to me felt like, you know, for a trailer, for a concept, that makes some sense, but at the same time, it's not very strong, you know, to have a whole movie based around that.
Yeah. Like you have some good part, and then you go to like the Manticore woman, and I'm like, what is this? Like you there's such stark difference.
DreamWorks.
Like, yeah, like even like the design of everyone. Like, does the design and lighting look really flat and boring to you? Like there's like the pet dragon. Oh, we have a pet dragon. Right. I don't know. Like everything, like how they look and their eyes, and like there were some scenes where they like very emotionally connect with the characters, and sometimes they just like. They look dead in the eyes, like VeggieTales or something. I don't know. It was weird.
I don't think VeggieTales.
Hey, VeggieTales don't look dead in the eyes.
We're alive.
They were alive and well.
Now.
Okay,
we'll check it
VeggieTales now, man. It's nuts.
Wait, VeggieTales being the old ones, the originals.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They're making some more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. There's all kinds of new stuff.
I think I watched VeggieTales last time in 1998.
Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah,
remember when Larry's voice was like, "My name is Daniel."
The old Larry's voice.
I have a dream. Yeah.
Was much better.
And then he turned like this.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
So Onward, the Manticore. But I kind of like the Manticore character, though. I know you're talking about her implementation in the story. Not so great, but I thought the character was interesting. I thought she was very funny.
Phil, is that when I was watching it, and when she goes, when she has that epiphany,
rage moment,
where she realized like, oh, my life's a lie, and I need to go back to the old ways. Like that's a moment where I thought, cool, this movie's kicking off. She's gonna actually be part of their crew, and they're gonna go fly around the mountains, and she's gonna tell them about these ancient tales and maps and
like it's gonna turn to metal or something. Like it's gonna gonna pop up. Like the world felt so small,
very
so tiny, and it felt like it didn't feel like a Pixar movie. Like movies and Pixar, like if you think of Monsters Inc., like how that world feels so big and lived in, and it feels like a universe that's created and feels like it's real. This felt like a movie set where they were like hanging out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and so that's that's where I was expecting that to happen. It didn't happen, and it was just the moms going off on some slight.
The mom's going off on some slight detour.
Some slight journey.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Chasing
yeah,
this stepdad.
And again, I'm just coming back to the same point. It's just these gems and stuff. Like those are all okay mechanisms, but I wasn't interested in that. I really wasn't interested in that.
It was like a MacGuffin, what? It's just like they're looking for something. Like I don't know. Like it didn't feel like there was this, and it's like it's okay, like whatever. Pixar's doing what they're doing. It's like you said, it's hard not to compare to where they were once.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just felt really like not very satisfied when the movie was over, and I just felt more like, oh, okay, that was that.
Yeah.
You know,
Dear speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker
of the House.
Hold up. You connected with Onward? Talk to
great.
us
Yeah,
and tell
please.
us
Right.
why.
Yeah,
did you guys
but
have
I mean,
any
like,
connection? I mean, Phil,
guys,
you had
honestly-
an emotional connection.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had
Phil,
an
you had
emotional. I had an emotional moment.
That's
I
good.
don't know. It was. I cried a little bit at the end. You know,
That's
it was,
good.
It was touching.
there's no shame in that.
But I have to say that, like, I can't disagree with all your points because they make so much sense. I'm not going to say that I didn't notice them, but I still enjoyed the movie. I really liked. I don't know, like again, here I go with talking about technical things. Like, do you remember when the Manticore, when she does a grimace, you can see all the folds like a real lion's folds? I thought that was wonderful.
You have been drawing lions since you were like 2, so I would assume you noticed that.
I would not know.
I had noticed no folds. I was just looking at her nails.
On the snow. she's played by Octavia Spencer, Jacob. Octavia Spencer.
You see, not a DreamWorks thing.
You're right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, what happened? Is
I don't know, man.
Katzenberg back? Well,
Katzenberg, bringing it back, baby.
But guys, you know, keeping with the theme of this podcast, you know what was in the movie? A pawn shop.
I was thinking, honestly, I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, great. We're going to have something to talk about now.
That was a funny scene, though. I think that was really funny. The guy was hilarious. The pawn shop man.
It
Man,
was
woman.
a woman.
A woman? I can't remember. It's been a few days since I saw it.
It
was funny. That's so I don't know. That one made me laugh. The whole situation with the whatever.
Yeah, I honestly, to be honest, that there wasn't a lot of laughs from me. There was like, I think, one joke that was funny, but I don't remember what it was. So very useless information.
Wow, what a great
know.
yeah. You should wrote down the joke. This joke is funny. I also have a note. The jokes were funny, and that's it. And I am also
That's your notes?
no. I have lots of notes, but I have about jokes. I wrote the jokes were funny, and that's but didn't write any of the jokes that were funny. And since it's been a few days since I saw it, I can't remember.
I would like to.
It's only been
hear
yesterday
What people think
for
and
me.
sort of where people are at with how they will see the new Pixar pictures. Because
Because everyone can see it now.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Oh, that is crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Because us in Croatia, we wouldn't be able to watch this movie until it came out on video because it would all be synchronizirano.
So
Yeah,
I have to
dubbed.
say, we'll talk about this more on the Pixar special, but my big question really for myself is my perception based on just how many Pixar movies I've already seen and how many movies in general I've seen and kind of like how I perceive films now with where I'm at? Or is it truly something in the concepts and storytelling itself that isn't working? You know, that to me is a big question, which we'll discuss.
That is a big question.
On the
Yeah, I mean, like you can look at it's not subjective. You can look at the ratings, and it's I think there's a correlation. I would say.
I just mean,
they're still pretty good rated, but
right. I'm just saying, like, in the sense of, when I look back at the Pixar movies that were huge and that were like, watershed moments, not just for CG films, but just films in general and that kind of storytelling for all ages, but primarily, right, a little more directed towards younger ages, right? Well, not necessarily. I guess not really. Maybe
not younger ages, but a little bit more
family.
common denominator, I would say.
Yeah, maybe more family oriented. Maybe. There was something there that was very special at the time, especially it came out right in context. I feel like there was something special there. And so now that's another question. Like, let's say CG films in general, or that's kind of storytelling, like where is that at? Like, how are people reacting to that? How do people perceive that? Because it's different, right? Because like I don't have kids, for instance, and like maybe it's different if you're, a parent. Maybe you have a totally different perception.
Don't watch the CGI stuff; it'll steal your soul.
Are you telling your daughter not to watch CGI stuff?
No, she cannot. The
Only
uncanny
cartoons,
valley will
only
get
2D.
Only
suck her
2
in.
dimensions, no 3.
No 2 dimensions for you,
But
daughter.
4 sometimes with VR goggles.
3 is too much, but 5. Oof. Yeah, 5G. 5D.
So yeah, I think that's any other comments? I'm trying to think. I really can't think of anything else.
The big dragon.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. So like, did the movie then win you over?
That was a funny joke. With the face. The dragon
The
has
face. I
that
thought
was
I've seen
so-
that
we
joke way
all
too many
laughed.
times, but
Oh, I thought it was good.
What? That was good. That
All right,
funny
it was
joke.
good. It wasn't bad. It was
Okay,
just
there was
yeah.
wait, there was
the
something
biker
funny.
Pixies.
Biker Pixies were okay.
Oh,
There was something
the biker
stupid that
Pixies.
me
I
and
hated them. I hated them so much. I wanted them to get off the screen. They were so annoying. I
Pixies.
just didn't even. Why were they there for? It wasn't even funny or stupid. Get them away.
I'm gonna ask because there was a joke that me and Emma laughed out loud. So I'm asking her. And not Brave. What is it called?
Onward.
Onward. Are you looking at
Okay.
jokes?
So maybe
Hey, Jabe, did you
No.
notice it was Tom Holland? I had no idea.
Dude, I had no clue. I like I told you, I didn't even know who was in this movie. I was just watching.
Pretty good accent. Like, you couldn't tell.
Oh yeah, he does a
American.
great American accent.
yeah, I think that's for me. Until Emma writes to me with
Really,
joke we
really
laughed at.
tiny brother, Chris Pratt. No?
Tiny brother.
You
What?
mean when he was shrunken?
Yeah.
Oh, he was tiny. Yeah, I
I'm
guess
trying to
that's
think
like
of the joke here. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think it was something totally stupid and not meant to be, a funny joke that we just found funny. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Like nothing's coming to mind either.
It's chill time.
Chill time.
All right. Chill time.
Chill time. Shill time. Shill. Are you a shill?
So I think
I'm a Pixar shill.
we seem to have very similar opinions. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. Finally,
Yeah.
I asked you, but we got lost in there. So, did the movie, in some sense, win you over, or not really? Expound.
In some
like-
sense, it did win me over. Like at the end, I was happy I watched it. There were moments that I liked, and I think I don't know, maybe it's just my soft heart because like I used to be so cynical about these things, but like I think the pros outweigh the cons. But I would give it a 6 out of 10.
The podcast to soften you. We have softened you up.
Like
Soften me up
We have yes.
like fluffy bread.
Drain the cynicism out of you like a cyst. It's been festering.
Go on.
Oh, nothing. Like, dude, like honestly, like I said on the first thing, and I think this movie right at the start kind of gave me that 50-50 feel, and that's how I feel in the end. It was just like some good stuff, some not so good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, the Disney Renaissance happened in the 90s. Maybe there's going to be a Pixar Renaissance when a new generation of creators come in and they're like, we want to take it, how we felt at Pixar, and we're going to bring it back.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You never know,
That'd be nice.
like what coronavirus is going to do to the economy.
Maybe much inspiration. I wanted to say
Not inspiration. I mean, like, the financially things will change. Things will change. Everything will go crazy. You never know what might happen. Maybe streaming movies will just be streaming movies.
they'll be
No.
called streamies. So,
There's an award show called Streamies, by the
oh
way.
really?
Really?
My
I think so.
final
It's
verdict
streamies.
is
Let me
that
check.
it's not. I would say it's not a cynical view, but it's just that I didn't feel the movie really won me over. I don't think it was bad technically, and compared to other movies, which we will talk about, it's amazing, right? But from that standpoint, but from a storytelling standpoint, and what I
Why, guys,
inherently
why?
couldn't not expect something. I feel like I didn't receive that. So it's not like a cynical view. It's just that I feel like, if I'm being honest, it didn't really do too much in that area.
Okay. Sounds fair. Sounds fair to you. The Streamies are a thing, and they have been held since 2009.
Okay.
A YouTube Streamy Awards is known as
It's another
Streamy
cool
Awards.
award show where the winners have to go say a speech in 5 words. Have you heard of those?
What? No. I
Yeah,
haven't
the
heard of
Webley
that.
or
What?
something like
What's
that.
this?
Webby Awards or something like that.
Oh, Webby Awards? I think there's something
It's
like
cool. The speech has to be 5 words, and that's it.
that. like a Vine video.
Yeah. Just look it up on YouTube. There's some good ones.
This looks like the
Okay.
same font as the Streamy Awards. I wonder if there's the same producers or whatever.
I
don't
think
know.
one of them was remember Bill Wirtz, who did History Japan and so on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He won
yeah.
one of the awards, and I loved his speech. I think his speech was literally just, "Thank you."
Nice.
Something like that.
Didn't what's his face? When damn it, Joe Pesci didn't he when he won an Oscar, his entire speech was like "thank you." And
Yeah,
then
he
went
said.
off?
I watched it actually.
What was it?
Not too far long ago. He just said like, "I'm very grateful," and that's it. Something like that.
That's fair.
Just walked off. That's perfect.
So thank you
That is perfect. That's the best.
for tuning in the segment of the review and discussion of Onward by Pixar Studios.
Onward.
I don't even know who directed this movie.
Dan Scanlon.
Okay.
He directed Monsters University.
We talked about
Jacob,
this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
we
I'm
talked about this 10 minutes ago.
I'm so sorry, but if I only had a brain. Let's go to a song. Johnny, I texted Johnny that we need a song in 10 minutes, and that was 10 minutes ago. So hit it, Johnny.
Uptight people trying to tell you how to live life. Nobody asked if I was alright. I'm not, I'm dying to be someone who can work to feed their family and not at the mercy of frivolity, of changing markets. So if you feel left out, feeling overworked and underpaid, nothing's working out, don't look at me. You can thank the American dream. So I can use my coupon, a bucket of french fries and a bacon. I ain't taking chances. So if you feel left out, if you're feeling overworked and underpaid, and nothing's working out, well, don't you look at me. You can thank the American dream. I got no reasons not to let me down. You can't have them. Now could someone help me off the couch? Now if you feel left out, if you're feeling overworked and underpaid, and nothing's working out, don't look at me. You can thank the American dream. Welcome to the American dream. America, podcast.
And we're back with more music from our good friend whom we don't know personally, but we like his music, Ryan Lerman. And
he always lets us use his music.
Because he's an amazing guy. And with a fantastic track, which I really think is a great song, called The American Dream. Great song.
Ryan should be on our podcast.
Man, I think he should.
He
be.
likes movies.
We can, we can
Sounds
have
like an interesting man who would have lots of interesting things to say.
I agree.
like about the Candyman remake sequel.
What?
What?
You don't know about
Is he a
Candyman?
Candyman?
No.
I know of Candyman.
The Candyman can, cause he mixes it with love and
Makes the world taste good.
Mr. Candyman,
gold.
bring
So thank
me
you,
a
Ryan,
fly.
for the song, and I hope you enjoyed
Yes.
the song.
It's a really good song. Yeah.
That was our song break. I hope you had a good break.
Yeah.
What is this principle?
He's warning us. He's warning us of the terror that's about to
Dude,
show
for
up.
some next movie that we watch, for some odd reason,
What is wrong with you guys? Go.
the principal in that movie reminded me of Jake. I don't know why, but I was laughing my ass off because I thought if Jake was like older and was a principal, he would be the principal in the next movie.
That is so sad. That makes me so sad.
You should feel offended,
I don't know why,
Jacob.
Jake. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
I feel
Insulted
a little
even.
bit- I feel a
Vibes.
little bit sad, but it's okay.
It's offensive.
Listen, I want to say that this movie. Remember how last episode you guys were like, I was in so much pain watching the ridiculous, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I will not joke around that I was in a lot of pain watching this movie, and I was in much pain, and I was 15 minutes in. I was thinking about just texting you guys and like, let's just quit the whole movie. and let's
I
go to
thought
Toy
you
Story.
were saying I was thinking about going outside into the mall and licking all the doorknobs. So I could just
No. And I was thinking about that. I was
funny.
saying, let's just go back to the Toy Story movie that we wanted to originally do.
Toy Story. It was supposed to be Toy Story. I was so excited
And
to watch Toy
somehow
Story
I
again.
managed to get through
It's your fault.
this movie, and it was it just made me cherish all things good. It made me cherish Onward. It's like man, I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that there are people out there, making films that have that are based on some standards, of quality and art and presentation and talent, And it was absolutely dreadful. I think the worst part of the whole movie was probably the voice acting. And
Whoa,
I
really?
think
That bad?
They recorded the voice actors in like an empty room or something, or like a box
My
full
thought
of
is
wood.
no. You know what it sounded to me like? They recorded over Skype. Like it sounded like YouTubers with their like YouTuber mics.
And my friend was
Absolutely.
okay. So
What movie is it,
Tell
though?
us what
the
movie.
movie.
is.
That's right. The movie. The movie is called Forward or something like that. Homeward.
Jacob.
Homeward.
Homeward.
Yeah.
And it's
So there's
okay, let me
Onward
put the
and then there's
context.
Homeward.
So the context
Give us the
is this.
context.
There's a studio out there called Asylum or The Asylum.
I
One
think
of
it's
those.
the Asylum. One of those.
It's a studio that essentially makes ripoff films of major movies in hopes that people will be confused and buy their movie and watch that. So they do stuff
Instead of the main one.
right. So
Not only do they just rip it off, they make it cheaper and quicker than the actual cinema.
Yeah, of course.
The original one. So
These
they get
budgets
it
don't
in
go into
stores.
millions.
Yeah, they get it like the movie is playing in cinema, like let's say Transformers, and they already have it in the DVD in Tesco called Transmorphers.
Yeah, Transmorphers. So
they did a bunch of
they've been doing
movies.
this for so many years already. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did the Titanic movie. Remember Titanic 2? They also do like sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, they do sequels or combine two movies together,
Yeah.
just like mush them.
Phil, what was the Terminator one called? I wish I remember. Is it just Terminators?
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
I can look up the list of all
You
the
should.
Asylum
Read-
movies. They
read
probably
some
make like
titles.
100 a midday,
Yeah.
100
And so
a year.
they
I mean, they
made
were
this
doing
movie.
they were doing those mockbusters, right? But then I think they hit gold. I think Asylum were the ones who made Shark Tornado or whatever it was called.
Oh,
Shark,
I think that's like their flagship
Sharknado.
original.
yeah, Sharknado, and it was like
That was
their
them.
original property.
Okay.
And man, they milked it because people were loving that. That was great.
Their first movie is in 1999 called Belly Fruit.
what are some well-known like ripoffs, like from well-known films?
They did World of Worlds, man. Vampires versus Zombies. They started with the versus stuff pretty early. 666 The Child, Dragon.
That's instead of the Omen.
9/11. No, they did a 9/11 movie. Oh.
That's because of that other 9/11 movie that came out.
Oh, I love
that,
this.
Oliver Stone directed.
AVH, Alien vs. Hunter.
Oh,
That's Alien Mr. Predator original.
That's a classic.
classic.
No, they did the Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. That was there. Like 2009. That was there. There it is. Transmorphers, the Terminators.
The Terminators, is that what it's called?
Yeah. They did Almighty Thor. Is this the version?
Amazing.
Almighty Thor.
Almighty Thor. That's funny. And then they don't release that many. Let's see. What they did 2018. Tomb Invader. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know what that is.
Avengers Grimm.
Avengers Grimm?
Yeah. I doesn't even have a wait. I can't find that post. Let me see.
But
Avengers Grimm Time Wars. I think that's like a Endgame ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So you can look up on YouTube. I'm sure there's like best of
like
clips.
porn.
Quality.
Yeah, it's bad. I heard that like the budgets are always like about 100,000 or something, and they finish it very fast, and then they just publish it.
What was that? Oh man, you know what this movie reminded me of? Do you remember that? I think it was Brazilian ripoff of Ratatouille called Ratatoing.
Oh, Ratatoing. Yeah.
Ratatoing. But that's another level. I think that was
yeah.
Ratatoing was like that's like
insanity.
you're on acid and you're like you can't escape the trip.
Yeah. That's a Brazilian company. Yeah.
So
That's
this
a
movie was a ripoff of Onward. It's CGI, which I was impressed that they even wanted to do or could do a CGI film, which was.
But it. Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't think this is a ripoff of. I thought like when I saw this, I thought this is gonna be a ripoff of Onward. I think you know what?
But it was.
No. I think they just market it as a ripoff. Here's why. Because when you watch the movie, the story is actually nothing to do with Onward, besides that there's two brothers. That's it. They're not even brothers, and they're half brothers. You know what I think? So as I was watching this movie, I was like thinking, wouldn't it be a blast? Oh, by the way, I love this movie. I was
what?
Thinking,
you love this movie?
I enjoyed this movie so much.
I can't believe this.
I can't believe it either.
So I was watching this movie and I was just laughing my ass off at how stupid it is. And I was thinking like, wouldn't it be a blast working for this company? And it's like, because you're like any shot you deliver to get signed off by the creative director, what the first draft you bring and they're like, yeah, it's fine.
I guess so.
It made me so sad. Anyway, go on.
So I was thinking like, like this. I was like, oh, I want to see who worked on it. Like, who are the people? And then the credits come, and there's this credit at the end. It says, all animation created, designed, and animated by one person, Michael Johnson. So this entire movie was created by one person.
No, joking.
Can't be.
Yes. And then you credits roll, and there's only voice actors and some like editor and like coloring. So everything was. So here's what I'm thinking. Michael Johnson makes a movie about two orc and an elf brother, right? Completely unrelated to anything. He makes this whole CG movie for himself. He probably dubs the voice acting, right? Then he's like shopping it around the world. Okay, someone released my movie. Asylum knows Onward is coming out. They see this movie and they're like, oh, this is very similar to Onward. We can use this. So they buy the movie off him. Then they redub it with their C grade celebrities like Tom Green. Over a Skype call. And then they ship it to the Tesco's and the Lidl's.
Yep.
To be sold. One person did the whole movie.
You know, that reminds me of that one person who did the whole movie. Do you remember Moses? Remember that Moses CG movie with lion men?
Oh my goodness, Phil, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't Moses. I think it was
oh my goodness. Totally Moses.
Was
Ten
it Moses?
Commandments, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
What's the movie called?
We have to show you. Phil, Google it somewhere. It's an amazing film where I think it's the story of Moses, right? But for some reason they're like lions or cats that stand upright like humans. And it's also made by one guy. Too. And it's like directed by like some pastor or something. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Phil try to Googles it up. Anyway, while Phil looks for it.
Oh, it's Joshua.
Joshua.
Oh, Joshua. Okay.
Yes. See, I knew it was.
Well, what's the title of the movie?
I think it's just Joshua.
Joshua and the Promised Land.
And the Promised Land. Okay, this is gonna look good. Oh, dude, these linemen.
Check it out.
Shit.
Yes, these
Look
are
at these
amazing.
guys.
We got to link this up. This is something.
Look
By the
at
way,
this.
we found this movie in
Yeah.
our local library back in Anderson,
In America.
and we were like,
man.
"What is? We have to see what this is. What in the world?" And it was brilliant. This was funny.
Created by Jim Lyon.
Jim Lyon.
This is epic. I like the poster for the Joshua. The line
Yeah.
looks high as hell. It's beautiful.
Oh, and it's also, I think the whole movie is like hosted or narrated by this pink tiger with a bow tie.
Yeah. Something
He's
stupid like that.
introducing it or something. We got to watch some clips later.
It's
All right,
so
okay.
funny. So this is
anyway,
very
where is-
similar. So anyway, but I wanted to say, you guys noticed that this was all like mocapped, right?
I didn't
Was it?
actually. Didn't notice that.
No,
Guys,
I-
it was, I am 100% sure all of it was
there was
just
no
mocap.
wigglies. Everyone was like very stationary. Like they had like cute animations. And one of
Okay.
the reason it's funny is that sometimes I could see that it was overdubbed because the actual the words that they were animated to say were not there. Like it changed. Like at one point is like he was like something, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" And that's like what the mouth looks like, but they say, "Oh, what do you want me to say?" Is the person saying.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I was like. Sometimes it was on point, like the talking, and sometimes it was completely off. Like the mouth wasn't even reacting to.
Yeah,
what
Jacob,
the
do you want to
actual-
kind of brief everybody on what the
Oh
story
yeah,
is?
brief about what's the story of Homeward,
So the story of Homeward is,
as you tried to do in our movie before.
yeah.
Confused.
The story is that similarly, like Onward, the world is also Okay, here we go. So the backstory is that there was some kind of a battle going on, and
Can
orcs-
I stop you for a second?
You help me out.
No. You can continue. I just want to say, this movie, the level of incompetence is that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm eating. That's disgusting. But the level of competence, you're greeted with this level of incompetence right off the bat. And like when we watched the Six movie, what was it called? The Incredible Six or whatever. The
Ridiculous
Waffle
Six?
Ridiculous Six. Like that movie was bad to me because it's like it felt so
Clean.
like evil, like it was
Evil.
Like, it was,
Oh, okay.
no, like as in like okay, the people who are working on it, right?
Like they knew
They
what
can
they
do
were
better.
doing.
They knew what they were doing, but the people who made up the movie, these actors, it felt so sinister to me. They were like, people will love it, you know.
Right.
Well, this was just incompetence level of like people just doing stuff, and that's what I can enjoy.
Right.
So there's these orcs and these elves fighting, and these elves ambush these orcs by hiding in the ground. But okay, here's the amazing part: they're hiding in the ground, and the only thing you can see from the elves are these plants sticking out. But they're not just plants; they're potted plants.
What is that? What was that?
Yeah, I was
So how are you
confused, too.
hiding in the middle of the mountains? You're hiding camouflaged as plants, but you're not. They're potted plants. They had pots as well. So a bunch of orcs come to a field and they see a bunch of potted plants on the field. How is that not suspicious? And I'm like watching this. I'm like, hold on a second. Wait. I gotta stop. What? Why do you have? And that's a
Yeah,
beautiful
it was-
thing about
it was
this movie. And then now I understand why one person. There's so many stock, like free resources, like downloadable 3D objects in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
that it's
yeah.
epic.
Let me just finish. So then what happens is that back in the day,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Back in the day, they
Okay.
help each other, elves and orcs, and they defeat the bad orcs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah,
like
they
an
had
evil
like a
orc, who was
mind-
controlling everyone.
Yeah, mind
And they're
control
like,
thing.
okay, we stop it. Yeah, and then they were victorious, and then it cuts to the present day. We're in high school. They're learning about what a great, what a great thing happened where we're all living harmoniously. And then it's, you know, about races, and they're like, why aren't the orcs living with us elves if everything was so good? And turns out there's one orc living in the high school of elves, and that's the half.
And they have
the elven
They just have
elf
this-
called the city.
What
And
I
let me just
hated
say
was
one
that
thing,
they all
first
had
of
like
all.
like skin color. They didn't
was
have like
terrible.
different.
Here's my biggest questions. Why in the world did our main character, our elf, right? So first of all, his face was very uninviting and very creepy. And
Oh man, it was so bad.
His voice.
And
it's
second-
just so creepy.
And second of all, I don't know if you noticed this, but on like, I don't know why this, who was the animator, Josh or whatever his name was?
Michael
Whatever
Johnson.
his name was.
Johnson.
That sounds like a made-up name.
I feel like
Michael Johnson.
Like, okay, now that I know it's just him, like props to him for doing all this. It must have been really hard. But at the same time, it's like the hair of this main elf character.
Oh, it's so
He had like on one side, the sideburns were normal, right? And the other side, it's like he shaved it. He shaved the sideburn. And it's
Couldn't
just
get
like
the symmetry
hair.
right, so he just
And
gave up.
That's the
Yeah.
whole movie is that. And I was just looking at him, and I was like, and also this guy is so mean. I hate him.
He's such an asshole,
unlikable.
like the
Yeah.
entire time. He's just like, and he has a creepy voice. He doesn't do anything right, and he's just I don't think he ever changes. I don't know. This movie
He just wants
kind
to
of
get that stupid university or whatever his.
what's the university called Cornrow or
Oh,
something.
dude, I don't know anything about. I just left my mind once it was over. Whatever.
Anyway,
Oh,
so,
God,
so,
so-
the plot takes place in the plot is about
Elvendale.
these half brothers
Elvendale.
and his older orc brother, younger orc. I don't know. He's like,
He's adopted.
yeah,
He's
He's
adopted.
like, I'm gonna play pranks on my brother because I'm stupid and brothers do that. I just love my brother. And his brother's like,
I'm an orc. I can only do pranks.
yeah. And his brother's like, I hate you. I hate everyone. I just want to go to this university.
Yeah, no one
To
leaves
learn
him alone.
magic.
By the way, I want to say, so the beginning of the film is his orc brother, listen to this, wanting to play a
Yeah.
prank on him on graduation day of his brother. And his brother is the
Yeah.
valedictorian, going to make the speech and everything. And his brother wants to play a prank, and he's totally happy and fine with this.
Yeah.
And listen, what I want to say is that this is where I was wondering, like, I was looking at the animation and stuff like that, and I was thinking, like, this is actually, I'm a little impressed, like, how they, you know, did the textures and stuff like that. Like, even some of the shots, I was thinking, like, they're actually not, like, the worst. Like, you could have a horrible film, like the Joshua movie. Yeah, like, it could be like that, right?
I know. Yeah,
But it
then-
was that like weird between, like sometimes it's like
But then the litmus test of this kind of a movie is like, you know, let's say in Pixar movies, like that's the cream of the crop in
cream of the crap.
technology and, you know, cutting edge tools and creativity and how they produce, you know, these things on the screen, right? And every time you watch a Pixar movie, for instance, like you just know that they figured something out that no one else did visually and technologically.
They always.
That you know they're going to deliver, like in that front, like you just know, and you know you're going to get the best of the best, right? So for instance, like a litmus test is like, let's say, how do particles work, and how do, you know, realistic physics work in these CGI movies, right? So you're watching this film, and you're thinking like, this is not bad, right? It's going pretty well. And then, right, then you see this can that he's creating of this goop he's going to spill on his brother. And as soon as I saw that
this magical
milk drop,
goop he's creating,
he puts some milk into it, and he takes a carton of milk.
So he has a barrel of goop that his goth friend provides for him.
Whatever that was.
I don't know what that was.
That if he puts milk in, turns into some slime.
Yeah, like
He knows this because he studies his brother's elven magic.
Yeah, and so he puts this drop of milk, and I was looking at the drop, and I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. And the drop was horrible, and I was like, oof, this is so bad. And then it goes in, right, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so now how is this gonna look like, this liquid? Is it gonna be some like simulation or something, right? That maybe this guy found online.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it turns out
Then?
it's just like a flat surface with a texture that's stretched.
No shader
Like
whatsoever.
from Wolfenstein,
Nothing.
Return from Castle Wolfenstein, you know, like just. And that was when I realized.
And the physics, it's moving, it's spreading, and the chairs are floating like they're in space.
Oh man.
And then when
But my favorite.
yeah,
No, but what my favorite part of the movie happened right before the slime scene when they're moving the microphone stand
Oh my
around.
goodness. What was that?
Oh, I hated that. Honestly,
And
like
they're
when
slamming it.
yeah, yeah.
It's just like, what is this? This is like
What?
a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, they're
What's
just
happening?
slamming it onto the floor. And you know what I hated about that? I thought I was reading too into that. I thought, are they trying to establish that elves are really strong and they have super strength? Or
No, it's
no, it has
It was
nothing
supposed
to
to be
do with
comedy.
that.
Because the
Supposed
thing
to
is,
be
like,
comedy.
But he animated so strong. I think he just
Yeah.
took it.
They look like they're doing wrestling moves. You know, like in wrestling where they take like the
so
they
let,
take
let me
the
explain.
chairs.
So the can of goop, right? If easily disturbed or shaken, would create the foam, right? So the orc was
Yeah.
like, "Don't shake it, don't shake it." But then you cut back down to his brother and the principal coming into the auditorium. And they're
Jake the principal.
discussing- Yeah, and they're discussing where the podium should be on the stage.
Yeah.
And they're moving the podium from spot to spot, and every time they lift it up, they smash it down on the floor. And so I was
Yeah.
like, thinking that
Mocap a
That's
wrestler.
ridiculous.
I think
Yes,
they were
that's
trying
what
to
I
be
said.
funny.
They're really trying to be funny, huh?
Yeah.
I think they were just trying. I don't know. It also just we talked about how the main character, well, not one of the main characters, the Elven brother looks like, and the Orc brother looks like they just traced Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Someone made a
project.
model of Wreck-It Ralph and they just changed it.
Yeah, they
So-
just downloaded Wreck-It Ralph and gave him like orc teeth.
And so
Anyway, there's a lot more story to go on
his
with.
orc brother gets expelled, and the orc brother's evil brother is super mad at him. He hates his
And he
guts.
said, and he says sorry, and then I'm like, Canadian.
Canadian. And
Sorry.
his great idea, his evil brother, is to drive his orc brother to New
Oh, yeah.
York City.
I love that. That's the best
Which
part of
was
the world.
worst
Tim, no.
It
ever.
even has a song
No.
as they're driving
the
in.
song was
And they had the
so
song. Oh
It's
yeah.
just the most boring and the most laziest song in the world. They don't even have lyrics. It's just New York City.
I hated it so much. And by the
Tears
way,
to my
they're
eyes.
driving on the highway, which is deserted and empty, right? And then all of a sudden, oh no, a car! And they have to stop, and they meet this freaking lizard lady.
The frog lady.
the frog lady.
With its
Oh
child.
man.
which is just a version of her scaled down. It doesn't have child proportions.
Of course
It's just
not.
tiny. They didn't even like make her head bigger. It's just like a tiny little creature.
And I couldn't, guys. Like the dialogue and everything in those sequences, I really don't cringe a lot. I really don't. And this
Yeah.
made me cringe pretty hard. And I just
Yeah.
felt so bad and so vulnerable.
You know what? Like
so
it's-
vulnerable, so naked in the dark.
It kind of dies down the excitement like halfway through it. Like it
Oh, yeah.
becomes very standard, but everything. But I love when you're watching a movie that's incompetent. With they don't follow any structure as far as like story arcs and everything, so it's so unpredictable. Like the first half of this movie,
true.
it could go anywhere, and you're just watching. It's like this is
You're
where
just watching
it's
this
going.
develop. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I get
It's like
yeah.
it's like watching like a child's story. It's hilarious.
And so then, honestly, after that point,
Okay.
like it got a little blurry. They end up in like New York City, and his brother gets
Yeah,
in trouble with like
the next
bikers.
half is difficult to remember.
yeah.
Yeah, like orc gang, some girl, and there's an orc that sounds like a baby for some
Yeah,
reason.
he sounds like a child.
It's the most
Remember that
bizarre
one?
thing. Every time that guy came on with the glasses and he just spoke like a child,
Yeah,
it was a strange sensation.
yeah.
And then
Strange
they
sensation,
end up
for
also
sure.
looking for rune stones and stuff.
Rune stones.
And his,
And then
it's
there's
like the
this big
boring
leader
parts.
orc
So-
who
Yeah.
wants to do the same thing that happened before, which
Yeah, and
is
then-
control all the orcs.
his orc brother
fight
gets
the
lost in the
elves.
city, and then his evil brother goes and finds him.
Well, evil brother has a change of heart for some reason, and he drives back. And before the evil orc plot, where he like wants to control the gemstones, and the movie becomes boring. There's this amazing scene where the evil brother comes to Orc City and he talks to a hot dog seller for
Oh, that's right. The hot
Oh yeah, the hot dog seller scene.
with like the most random like. This is like it gives me so much of the room vibes. It's just I don't know the combination of stock music and conversations that don't seem human at all. It's just it was like I felt like Feel very familiar.
I felt like, yeah.
We're there again. This is the land of incompetent movie making.
And so I remember then what happens at the end is that they somehow, after all this New York City kerfuffle, they end up back at the high school, and they're running away from these possessed orcs from the rune stone. Or not possessed, they're controlled, mind controlled.
By the way, the rune stone, like here's another. So there's this rule of animated and cinema animation, right? You can't go into super high detail on everything, right? You have to have the important things to have the most highest fidelity, or things you want to be in the foreground, or things you want to be important, right? So they have these stones, just like in Onward, that they're looking for, right? And they're the lowest fidelity textures in the whole movie.
Yeah.
They're not translucent. It's just a rock with like a nasty ass
With a
JPEG
nasty
texture
ass
on it.
JPEG texture. I love
Magical.
Beautiful.
More
Sorry,
magical
I just
than
had to
Onward.
mention that.
It's
'cause it was
true.
really
I forgot
funny.
about that, but it's very true. It's horrible.
that. And what happens at the end then? Like
And
what?
then they're running around in the high school, and then what happens is the evil brother is like, I have a brilliant idea. I'll go to my graduation, because the graduation is taking place, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes up to the stage. He's like, I'm going to do the speech, the graduation speech. And my favorite in movies like this is when you have crowds and stuff. It's just like the most sad, barren wasteland.
Yes,
of these rows
every
of
time.
people that
Yeah.
are perfectly in line, copy pasted.
Pasted.
There's like 12 of them, and that's like the high school. And you're like, ooh, 12. And they're all scary. And
Guys, you know what's so funny about this movie? I just watched it a few hours ago, and I can't remember what it looks like. To me, it just looks like unrendered, no lighting, nothing, plain.
it's very
It's like
plain.
using I don't know if this was made in Blender or not. I would really like to know what this was made in, because it looks like just the out of the box render, because there is what's it called, blur, like like lens blur, like there's depth of field, and there are some particles that are 3D. A lot of the effects are like, they look like they were made in After Effects. Like there's this one point when they're using the stone and lightning comes out of it, and that just looks like it was just slapped on, with like an alpha on top of it.
Right.
Oh no, the lightning. That's like After Effects. I was just like, oh,
That was like an After Effects lighting. Like
this
a
is what
GIF.
we're here for.
So,
And then, sorry.
no, go ahead.
And there's a couple of scenes which are like, it's the same scene, like they're talking, and the close-ups are lit with like lighting, and then you go to like a medium shot, and it's like super flat. It's really funny.
It's really bad. This movie was so hard to
The
watch,
shots
guys.
were mostly just like, you're sitting at the computer and just like zooming in, zooming out, and just finding like, this looks good, I guess.
But like that's. But you know what's funny is like most of the textures look like absolute garbage. Like, but then at the end, the graduation, they have these robes that have like the craziest textures on. Like they have shaders and
I
they're
hate
like super
that.
translucent. It's like, why is this happening now?
So
I
all
hate
the
it,
thing
man.
goes and makes a speech in his normal clothes, not his graduation clothes.
Of course not.
Dumb
like-
T-shirt with like a finger on it.
He's like, I love my school, blah blah blah. And then out comes the big orc, with the mind control. And he's like, by the way, that was the only good line in the film, where
What?
the kid goes like, someone goes, "Hey, that's," because he's pointing at the rock, right? And then the
Yeah.
the orc smashes through, and he says, "Mine," right? That's mine. That was good.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
That was good. That was a good line. I could see that. I could see it.
Also, I think the people who made this, or this person who made this, is very smart, because there is a Breaking Bad reference in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She goes, "Oh, is this he studies rock?" And she goes, "Oh, don't you mean mineralogy?" There you go. Oh, you guys
Oh,
watch
really?
Breaking Bad?
No.
I watched Breaking Bad, but only until the season 3.
They're minerals. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
So what happens at the end is that they defeat the bad guy,
Of course they do.
and then evil brother's like,
Yeah, wow, what a surprise.
She's like, "I will make peace forever with the elves and the orcs," and he destroys the
Cool.
rock, which is all you have to do. And everything's great. And then we're introduced to this beautiful transition of the trio of the evil brother, the orc,
How do I not remember this?
and then the girl orc.
This statue.
And they're all holding this or hands or something. I can't remember. And it pans
I don't remember
out.
this.
Yeah, it pans
Also a
out. And
screenshot.
remember back at the day, in
That's a
front of
great
the
shot.
school was, which I didn't mention, which was the legendary battle defeat from the intro of the film of the orc and the elf being
Oh
making the
man,
union.
you
And it's
sent
the
it to me.
golden
Thank you,
statue.
Tim.
But now, instead of them, it's the three trio. It's the trio friends who are commemorated in a statue, golden statue in front of the high school. And the high school is renamed. It's not anymore Elf Town or whatever. It's New York Elf Town High School.
Let me give you some amazing.
New York of Elfdale School.
There you go.
So you know, oh, they combine it. Okay, whatever. So you know, like the original stones that have like the power to mind control all the creatures. So they were divided, like, you know, like Lord of the Rings. One stone went to the elves and one to the orcs, and they both did the same thing with them. They put them in the actual statues. So, and with the evil guy, he's like, I want to get the stone, and it's in the statue. And he knows this because he is the, you know, his ancestor was the I think it was like sharp tooth or saber tooth, whatever the original orc.
I can't believe you
powers.
remember all this, Tim. I can't believe this.
I was engaged. So, and then he knows about this, right? So he knows about this, but he only, but he's like, oh no, but this orc now controls powers. He can get the stone out of the statue. And it's like, so it's been thousands of years and thousands of generations knew that the stone was in the statue. How hard is it to get a stone out of a statue? I mean, did it really take them that long? Thousands of years, no one to try this? I love it.
Forever.
It's just like the first idea. Oh, it's in the stone.
And then that's the end of the
Animate
movie.
this.
I think that's the end of the movie.
And it was
They're like-
dreadful.
Yeah.
He's like,
And there's like 5 seconds of credits.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, what's the last?
As
shot of
opposed to
that film?
Onward, which had like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What was the last shot?
Tim sent you the last shot.
okay.
Look at
This
it.
last shot. Check it out. Look at those mountains. Look at those stock trees you download from.
By the way, Tim,
They're so high
I
fidelity.
want to say, Tim and Phil, do you know what this reminded me of? This last statue in the school and stuff.
Yeah.
It reminded me of, what was his name? John Freeman.
John Freeman.
John
The
Freeman.
pants were dead.
Then
Yes.
the pants were dead.
The Steam movie.
True
of
life
John
consequences.
Yes, thank you. And he
That
gets a
was. I gotta
golden
watch
statue.
that now.
He
Those
gets a
are so
golden
good.
statue.
It does get good. That's so good.
And John Freeman.
Dude, zombie ghosts.
So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, zombie ghosts.
That's so good. It's
So you
I don't
enjoyed
know,
it
man.
and you had a good time.
yeah. I was like loving
Great.
it. Like there's
Good for you, Tim.
looking at
Good
all the
for
little
you.
stock stuff. Like they had the brother was driving a Golf. That was like super high fidelity. They just downloaded that Golf for the car.
The car, right?
There was a Nintendo Switch. One of the orcs
There was?
playing it. Yeah, one of the is there like in front of their hideout in the New York City.
I did not see
One of
that.
the orcs is playing in this, and then they're cooking up this goo so he can go into the statue in like Electrolux oven.
No, I missed all these details, honestly. I was just too
Oh
in
man,
pain.
I was zonked out, dude. I couldn't. It was so hard.
That was horrible.
Beautiful.
I was just looking at the time. You know, I was just waiting.
Oh, me
I was
too,
just
man.
waiting.
I
Are
was
we
looking at the
halfway?
time, too. I was just like, so close. It's only 20 minutes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the second half it's boring. I was on the phone as well, so I missed some. But it was
So that,
All right,
was,
well,
that was interesting.
Audience, if you've seen this film, which I'm sure you haven't.
yeah. I wouldn't recommend it though.
No. I was thinking if you're going to watch it, I'm sure there's probably like a best of on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Probably
Check it
like
out.
some.
It reminds me also, there's another movie, what was it called? I think it was also from the Brazilian studio. It was the ripoff of Kung Fu Panda. Do you guys know
Oh
that one?
no! Are you nuts?
Yeah, are you nuts? Look that up.
What was
We'll
it
link
called?
that up too. It's called like
The littlest panda or something like
something
that,
like that. Yeah.
and the voice.
Yeah. And then at the end, there's the dance. And the dance party.
Yeah.
Oh wait! What is it?
Look it up.
Is this the little panda?
I don't know. It's CG and it's like the little martial arts
Little
panda.
panda fighter.
Yes, little panda
Little
fighter.
Panda fighter.
There's
Oh,
like
dude,
highlights.
This is some nightmare fuel.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna link all
Are you
these
nuts?
things because this is a bonanza of bad CG movies.
Yeah, of bad stuff.
But it's not. It's not even like that's the thing. It's like the bad panda is like even crazier CGI. This is like This is like nightmare fuel. Like this was never nightmare fuel.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, what can you do? What can you do?
You did a good job, Johnson, Thompson,
Well,
whatever.
like I said, like if it's just him, then that's pretty crazy.
Michael
And
Johnson.
He did a good job with what he had.
Dude, it's a good movie, you know. Next time will be better. Michael Johnson.
We'll see. Next time it's my turn to pick the movies.
True.
No, I mean like Michael Johnson's.
And
Oh,
the
Michael
movie, yeah, Michael Johnson.
We'll be watching his career.
Yes. Intent.
So I think that's all we wanted to say.
Seems about right.
Let us know what you think. I think we're pretty much done here for today.
Oh, yeah. What else do we have to say
Nothing.
about these things?
We have nothing else to say.
Nothing.
I have to go
Nothing.
pee. And
Okay, cool, Jacob. Great.
yes.
I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're surviving the
Yes,
lockdown.
you're being safe.
Watched a lot of
time for
stuff.
stories. I guess next time.
Oh yeah.
That's my story of the earthquake, but that's
Oh, yes.
I totally forgot because we were so enamored by this story.
It's
End of the
okay.
world. You know what? I think, there's a lot of negative coming out of it. And I'm not one of those people who goes like, look at positive. But one positive is like, imagine all the end of the world and apocalypse theories. They're must having a blast these days.
Oh, yeah. They're probably
They're
like, yeah.
on their chat boards and they're all,
Connecting,
on
forums,
forums.
the pin boards.
There's, everything, it's like the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Everything is
They're
aligning.
loving it.
And like everything that you thought would happen, it's happening. And there's proof. The proof is in the pudding. So yeah, but on our side, we would say, be careful, take precautions, be safe.
Yeah.
And we will see you in 2 weeks with
For another official episode, but in between, we'll have something else going.
Well, there might be something.
Maybe.
There might be something.
Don't.
And I'm gonna have
quote
to-
us, but maybe.
Michael Johnson has made more movies.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I think I hear the music playing, so I'm going to see you later.
Guys.
What? What?
Guys, there's a movie called
Oh, no. No.